Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of the Visions, let's do a unit overview for the Final Fantasy VI collaboration. There's probably nothing I can say at this point to convince people one way or the other. I think most people made up their minds back when they were announced in JP. But I'll give some top-line thoughts on each character, kind of think about how they've performed in the meta during the last 4 months. But first, I wanted to kind of talk about these three characters as a decent PvP team. I see some advice floating around out there to new players to choose an element and focus on that. That is horrible advice. What new players should do first is fill out roles. Get a tank, get a healer, get a time mage, get a main attacker, maybe a tie-up unit, stuff like that. And then, if you look at this collaboration, and actually any of the previous collaborations, if you were to get all of the units offered, you could make a pretty good PvP team with them. But we look here with Celes, Locke, and Terra. We have a tank in Celes, we have a main attacker in Terra, and then we have like a tie-up sub-attacker in Locke. That's a pretty balanced team. As your account gets more developed, gets stronger, you can choose an element that interests you and then kind of build towards that. But in the early part of the game, maybe like first 6 months or so, you don't want to kind of hamstring yourself by committing too much to one element. Someday, the game will be at a point where picking an element from the beginning of the game will be viable because there will be options in every element for every unit role. But the game is not there yet, so it's better just to focus on roles, not so much elements at first. But yeah, you think back to like Final Fantasy 15, a team of Noctis, Aranea, and Prompto. That's a pretty good PvP team. You think back to Final Fantasy 7, a team of Tifa, Cloud, and then either Aerith or Barret, also a pretty solid team. So yeah, it might be worth looking back at your account, see if you have like a full roster of any one collaboration, and see what kind of synergy they have. See how balanced of a team that is. Alright, but let's talk about the characters. We'll go Locke, Terra, and Celes order. But Locke, he's the handout unit. We'll get him for free day one. He will be light element. I'm going to build him. And he's probably the best overall handout unit in the history of the game. And here we have a list of all of the stuff that he can do. This first one here, Evadey, has reflex and can give self re-raise. I don't usually recommend evade units to new players because to build an account to make evade characters really evadey takes a lot of time and commitment. But Locke, he has kind of so much stuff in his kit to help him survive. And then he comes with such a nice Trust Master that even brand new players, I think, can make good use out of him. And then maybe work on his evade slowly over time. And then also in his kit, he has AP Refresh and AP Steal. And so that really frees him up to use whatever Trust Master he likes. He doesn't need to rely on bells or something similar. And then his Trust Master, that will raise both Agility and Luck, I believe. So that's nice on anybody, but also especially good for evade units. And then he has a lot of defense and slashed resistance penetration. Those are the two types that you could defend against his attacks, not including light resistance. So he's going to do real consistent damage. I think people are going to be surprised by how much damage he does. And then he has a Dispel, not a super versatile skill, but in the right situation can be very useful. And then a couple of status effects. And then with his sub-jobs, Nightblade and then Pugilist, he has a 3-hit skill, great for raids, and then strike attacks, which can be difficult to guard against. So Locke, he is terrific. And a great synergy with Thancred and Lucio if you wanted to use them as a team. Alright, next we got Tina, or Terra. Call her whatever you like, I won't judge. She is a frontline magic attacker, which is a little unusual. Most of the magic attackers are backline. And I see a lot of people throwing around the word bruiser very loosely. but Terra is not a bruiser. With her, people might be surprised with how quickly she goes down. That being said, she does have a physical barrier, and then a courage from the paladin subjob, so she can take a couple hits. And then Merton, this is her kind of her #1 attack. In Japanese, we say that she can eat off of this attack. This will pay her bills, in a way of saying. But yeah, 100% hit, small AoE, instant cast, magic scale, magic attack. This can make her a great evade hunter. And then if you put her on her team with Megamont and then Classy Glassy, that can be an evade hunting team, just overall. Fire was always pretty good at evade hunting, but with Terra they'll be even better. And then she has a bunch of magic scaled attacks, but some are slash, some are magic, so she'll switch between them, depending on which one's going to do more damage for the situation. And then she has some AoE slash attack buffs, so she could buff like Megamont's damage or Rain's damage. So yeah, interesting team building possibilities with her. I think Terra is kind of outshone here, but I feel like in another time or with another collaboration, she would easily be the best character. Alright, and then finally we have Celes. She's kind of the first real water tank. She specializes in magic, but she's also pretty good at physical. The thing that will be surprising about her is how well she takes physical damage. And then she has an all-new skill, Runic, where she can absorb magic attacks. The way this works, any magic attack which has that reflect symbol on it, she will essentially just cancel it. It'll be like the spell was never cast, and then she will absorb some of the AP or TP spent to cast it. So breaks and stuff will not go onto her. And if it's an AoE attack that she absorbs, she'll just absorb the entire AoE-ness of it, so she can protect teammates with that. Comes in very handy. And then in addition to putting on the Runic Blade on herself, she'll give herself Protect and Shell. That's one of my favorite pairs of buffs in the game, and that also adds to her decent physical tankiness. And then she has a big AoE attack, the Magic Buster, which is surprisingly strong, and then also cuts magic damage. It will break magic attacks, so yeah, kind of a threat damage-wise as well. And then she has a Spirit Break. It's short range, but I love breaks more than penetration. And then finally Move 4, which is very important for tanks to have. But yeah, a very strong collaboration overall. This would be a great time to start a new account and then get all 3 of the characters. Maybe in the early days, use them together as a PvP team. So yeah, any of these 3 I think you could pull and build with confidence. Alright, should be fun. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.